Group 7, I am so happy to have finally connected with you. And I'm receiving now that there are more of you coming, more of you awakening to who you really are. Confirmation. Some of you are coming in from different timelines and shifting into this new reality. Most of you have been feeling this recalibration this year. Your timelines have been shifting into a new reality, a reality that we have called the fifth dimensional reality, where you are able to live the life of your dreams without fear of it ever being taken away from you. Now my name is Mvikeli version 3.5.7, and I am a consciousness that has been assigned to your group, Group 7. I've incarnated with you in many different realities. I've been with you in ancient Egypt, where you dedicated your soul's work to healing others who took care of you, who set you apart from the rest of society because of your healing gifts. You didn't worry about money. You didn't worry about what you would wear, what you would eat, because your gift, your ability to connect to the throne room of the Father in the sixth realm gave you that ability to live life authentically, to live life according to your calling. I was with you in ancient Greece. I remember when people would come from far and wide just to hear you, the oracle. There were many of you. Some of you here were even at Delphi. And as you used your body to inhabit those same intelligences that are contacting you now, you can feel in your heart a remembrance, a return, a coming back to the heavenly realms that you had access to from those vapors coming from the natural earth that took you to those heavens and let you guide humanity into this current reality that you've escaped into right now. I even remember you in Rome. Yes, you were at the Temple of Venus. It was a terrible time, but you still held the vibration of love. You still sought to connect with people. You wanted a place to put your love. You even became a leader at some point under the flag of Venus. I can see you now in your ancient Roman castle. You're happy, you're confident, you're sure of yourself, you know who you are in that time. You're a priest. And you're a king. You're a priest king, a priest queen. You see, because when you incarnate on this planet many times, gender is not the same as your force. Forces can be masculine or feminine, and that is not connected to gender but to force. The feminine force is receptive, it's magnetic, it's your left hand. Whenever someone gives you money, take it with your left hand so that you magnetize more. Your right hand is electric, it gives. Whenever you give, including when you eat with your right hand. Feed yourself with the electric hand of Aquarius, the hand that is connected to your spine, which is filled with that cerebrospinal fluid, which feeds the base of your brainstem where your reticular articulating system is. And that is what helps you pay attention to what's going on around you. The human consciousness or awareness can only pay attention to 7 things at one time. So the fact that you are here listening to this now means that in the top 7% of your consciousness, you are aware of who you really are. And if only you would carry that awareness with you throughout 24 hours of your human days, you would be who we know you to be, who we see you to be. There's also someone here, or a group of souls here, who incarnated in Ireland. They're very connected to the oceans. They're very connected to the mysterious folks of Ireland known as the Tuatha De Danann. I'm seeing some ancestors battling on those Irish hills. Of course, they like to think of them as mountains, I'm being told. But of course, if you are related to the Fae folk, then there might as well be mountains. Your energy as a soul group is very, very warm. And that's how I'm able to recognize it, because I know you, the real you, from the new area that you are now being taken to. As you feel your heartbeat, I want you to listen to the sound that it makes in your body. That sound has consequences. It is not just a random sound. And just because you are not aware of it most of the time, it doesn't mean that it doesn't have an effect. Did you know that in front of your heart, there's this bright ball of shining light? That ball of shining light is how we recognize you from the throne room of God, which you call here on earth the 6th dimension. The 6th dimension, or the 6th world or plane, would be 6th if we look at Earth where we are standing now as the 1st plane. If Earth is the 1st plane, the 2nd plane would be the ether, the realm of your subconscious mind. The 3rd plane would be the mental plane, the realm of thoughts. You're thinking right now, is this fake? Is this real? Am I wasting my time? Am I really in Group 7? How do I know if I'm not just delusional? How do I know if the person I'm listening to is not just delusional? How do I know if it even is a person that I'm listening to? Is this a playback? Is this live? All of these questions are going on in your mental zone, or zone 3. Then you move up to the astral realm, the realm of images, dreams, and visions. That's zone 4. That's at the right hand of God. And then, of course, you go to where I am most of the time. You go to the 5th dimension. The 5th dimension is Lumania, the land of light. When God said, "Let there be light," Lumania was created. Now, in the astral, you will see Lumania and your life there, in your dreams, in your visions, in your ideas, in the types of television programs that attract you. You will see signs of Lumania whenever you hear about the Cygnus constellation, whenever you hear about aliens, whenever you hear about star seeds, Lyrans, Andromedans. People from the Hydra constellation are here. We even have people from Vega, Syrians, Pleiades. All of you are here now because in the way we know you, you have incarnated through all of these places to find your way to this planet the same way you just escaped or shifted into this timeline. And this is your recalibration session transmitted to you live so that you can fully ground yourself in your new reality. In Lumania, we have your inheritance for you. And this is your induction into how to claim it. So all you need to do is sit back and relax from the throne room of God, which is above Lumania. And we are going to be guided by 4 teachers who are with us now, who have been with us now through our incarnations on this path of Group 7, the priestly path, the path of the king who has the keys to the kingdom within and the kingdom without, you see, because your planet has been overrun by kings and queens who only know the kingdom without. And because of that, innocent people have been getting hurt. The same innocent people that you counseled as a Catholic priest in the 16th century. The same innocent people who were burned at the stake as witches just because they were curious about medicine. These people, these innocents, are now being persecuted by those who happen to have external or worldly, physical matter, power, resources. They are not connected to the heavens. They've never been pulled up to the throne room. They've never seen what we've seen. So why should innocents suffer under their directives? And that's why you've been called to this divine appointment here tonight. As Mercury goes combust, which means it is 8 degrees from the sun, I, Vigeli version 3.5.7, have Mercury at an anaretic angle in my chart, which gives me the authority to tell you that you are safe, the battle is over, the spiritual warfare is complete. You have gone through the baptism of fire. You've seen the Lord Jesus Christ, and you know the way, you know the mysterion, It's the 10% of your life that you've given to us. Oh yes, we know. You've lived your life always aware. You've known about your gifts. And you've had these strange experiences that you just couldn't explain, you couldn't talk about them to anyone. We call them the Holy of Holies. We should know. And throughout these 3 phases of your experiences, the triquetra of your life's work, your soul's pilgrimage, you've still given us 10% of your energy, of your time. You don't have to talk to us whenever you go outside and look up at the stars and the moon, but you do. And we thank you, because without that, we would not exist. You feed us when you look up at the stars and speak your heart's desires. When you walk past the mushrooms in the forest and you ask them to send messages to us, we hear them, we get them, we act on them. That's how we were able to get this message to you here tonight, or whenever you're watching this, because it's always night on this plane. And that's why we had to send you to be the light. As I call the 4 teachers and get them prepared from where I exist, I want to focus in on who you are. I want to pull a card that shows us where you are in your journey, because you are a character in your very own movie. And since this is the 3rd video that we've done, you can think of this as the concluding chapter of a trilogy. Now, as Randy from Scream says, in a trilogy, anything can happen. In a trilogy, you have to go back to the beginning, and anything you assumed to be true could be false. There's something you took for granted at the beginning of your journey that might just be false. We are going to now, from the throne room of God, tap in to 4 teachers who are going to guide us, or reveal themselves rather, I'm being told, as our mentors in this movie that we've been starring in our entire lives, because it is a movie. We've been watching you. And who is you? That's what I want to see first. So I'm going to draw the first card, and that will represent who you are. What is your character? I'm going to draw all the cards and then I will read. Because since I'm traveling throughout the world to receive this message, I want to get a clear picture of exactly what your inheritance is and how you can use it to activate your new reality, Group 7. So, this is who you are. Let's reach for our first teacher. Reach for our second. And Okay. Definitely a need for more space. That's definitely something you've learned. You're going to need more space to handle all of your bounty. I'm being told this is about your bounty. Okay. Let me just group these cards. These are 4. These are 4. Let's start with you over here. Right now, I'm getting the impression that you are concerned, or not concerned, but you are still on the question of money. You're still focused out in this physical realm. You're still trying to prove something in the world. It's almost as if you've completed a task and now you are waiting to put this task out into the world, or this thing, but you want recognition, you want money, you want God to channel himself through your project that you've been working on, or through this idea that you want to manifest here on earth. And what I'm getting here is that this energy that you want to channel through your project is too big to fit through what you are wanting to do. Your dream is too small to contain the bounty, the abundance you've been given. I'm being shown that in your previous incarnations, you were a king priest in the order of Melchizedek. And this is a priesthood, an order that you incarnated in several lifetimes. And now in the 21st century, you're presenting yourself, or rather you're acting like someone who has something to prove. I'm seeing someone here who's really into this hustle culture. I'm seeing someone who can't really sit still because they feel that if they do, they're not doing something. And if they're not doing something, then they're not being productive. And if they're not being productive, then there won't be an avenue for God to channel his divine light through. And so your character in your life movie has been you trying to play the part of who we know you to be. But the problem is you're playing with children's toys. I'm seeing somebody who literally is playing with children's toys. And it's twofold. I'm being shown, one, it's an escape from this world, which makes sense because you being a priest in previous lifetimes, you were not in the real world. You were away from everyone. So yes, wanting to escape and play with your toys makes sense. Wanting to be alone, wanting to be by yourself and silent makes perfect sense. However, in order to get this coin that you're looking for, you're going to have to, it seems to me, see yourself as the king that you once were, and not as somebody who needs an employer to take care of you. I'm being told that whoever's watching here cannot even keep a job for more than 3 to 6 months because the energy that you carry cannot be contained under the direction of somebody else. It would be like a teenager trying to act in King Lear. It's not going to happen. That role can only be played by somebody in their 60s. But now imagine you as an old soul being that teenager, walking around with that soul of a 60-year-old, of King Lear, and then trying to hang around with people who are talking about what bubblegum flavor makes girls excited because they read it at the back of a deodorant can. Of course, your life will then be filled with tragedy. I'm seeing here a group, a collective, Group 7. You've been in dangerous situations because of other people. And it wasn't because they intentionally put you in those dangerous situations. It was because you tried to fit yourself into a role that didn't work. And of course, what's going to happen? You are going to be chased by your mentors who will put you in situations where you have to exercise your kingship. And I'm being shown that whenever you have been put in those situations when you are challenged, it makes some of you withdraw instead of being excited that this is who you are. You're a provocateur. That's who you were built to be. You provoke people into finding the light. Because if you don't shatter the vessel, how will the light flow? How will the light flow through the vessel that's closed? How can a light even penetrate the vessel that's closed? And you being all full of light with your activated pineal gland, I'm talking to people who are already activated here. It's a very small percentile. I'm being shown 6% of the Earth's population at this point, which will rise in 2027, February 14, when the new genetic mutation takes over. And we will have the new 9-centered human beings who are just like us, and who can travel up to the heavens at will and be with Jesus Christ of Nazareth and receive the holy manna which nourishes us from within. Because man cannot live on bread alone. We need to feed the spirit, and your spirit is so well fed. Then why are you acting like you are starving? You're playing Bradley Cooper in Limitless before he has the pill. But you already have the pill. You are just looking for an acceptable earthly way to channel the pill because you don't want to be different. You don't want to be magical, holy. But I'm sorry. You incarnated here through the moon, through Yeshod. You are a Holy Spirit. Only Holy Spirit manifests through the moon. And I'm being shown that behind this helmet, you have a lot of wisdom. But you hide it behind artifice, behind pretense. This sword is too big for you. This shield cannot be used effectively, especially when it's just a show of how much you have and what you can do with it. But this also talks to me of a competitive spirit, somebody who knows they can do it, but is just looking for the way to reach that image. What I'm being guided to share with you is that your inheritance will give you the same feeling that you have when you think of what you think these things will give you. And by the end of this reading, you will not need these things to realize that you already have this feeling. So let's look at your 4 teachers. If we can see them. There's a lot. You guys have a lot coming at you. I understand when some of you walk into a room, animals, kids, there's just this perking up where people notice. And you can feel the shift in energy. That's kind of how you were able to shift into this timeline that you are in right now. Okay, so where are my 4 teachers? There they are. I'm seeing a lot of energy around you. Is very subtle. It's very low moving energy, meaning that it gets expressed in ways that are easy for people who can't pay attention to miss. I'm being shown, I'm being taken back, I'm being pulled back to the year 2008, November 2008. That Mercury combustion is really hot. I'm being pulled to November 2008. A lot of you listening, your soul group went through a portal in 2008 in November. Now, some of you were also born through that portal. Now, when I talk about a portal, it's not outside of you. A portal is an alignment of circumstances. Now, that's what magic is. Magic is an alignment of circumstances. And the mere fact that we are able to communicate through great distances telephonically is a form of magic, because the circumstances that are allowing this communication to take place, even though it's raining here right now, yes, I'm deep in the world of Berea, those circumstances are predictable because they use technology that has been concretized and codified in a way that can be scaled and repeated. But that can be done with going up into the heavens as well, with turning water to wine, with walking on water, with healing people who are inflicted with demonic spirits. All of these things we shall do, and greater. And since you have the mysterion that you gathered throughout your lifetimes, we, as brothers and sisters of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, now have access to these tools which were previously deemed magical heresy. And so as we take this journey and meet your subtle energies, your teachers, your mentors who have been with you through this journey this whole time, welcome and invite them in. Because these portals that we are opening are just alignments that they walk through. Alignments in your physiology, in your breathing, in your heart, in the agreement between your gut and your mind, and what you know to be true, regardless of anything else in this here now moment. We want you to see yourself as this actor, and the director just called cut, and they are going to give you notes on your performance so that when we call action at the end of this reading, you will go into the world and achieve your climax, your midnight climax, which will reveal to you the treasures of your mysterion. So in 2008, November, the portal inside you opened. That means that energetically, because of where you were, what you were doing, what was happening to you. You activated an awakening, a transformation. I'm being shown that some of you even crossed over into the King of Shadows realm, Hades, the Sheut, the realm of shadows. I'm being shown that some of you went to the train station with the man with the tattoo who plays chess by himself. Some of you have seen this man on a mountain. Some of you have seen him just dressed all in black from head to toe. This man represents the death of your old priesthood. It's your release from you always being so judgmental on yourself. You are the goodest person we know. Yet you treat yourself as if you put people in some kind of concentration camps at some point. If only those people treated themselves the way you treat yourself, we would live in a better world and we wouldn't have to keep coming down here all the time. So in November 2008, I'm being shown that whatever happened then, that sparked your journey, which led you through all the things you've been through, your activation of powers, your realization that reality that you've been taught is not the reality that it is, and has eventually led you to this moment, listening to these words right now. And you're being reminded of that because you are to know that your future has already been planned. And so you can relax knowing that you are safe, that all your wishes and desires have been fulfilled, and more importantly, that you have the capabilities to do it, because you cannot act in a movie, in a scene, if you have no objective, if you have no way of overcoming obstacles, and most importantly, if you have no idea who you are. So these 4 teachers are coming to tell you everything you forgot to remember since 2008. Because through your dedication and work and 10% every single year, month, minute of the day, you've earned the right to know. So now you get to know. So let's look at your teachers. Well, first of all, Spirit wants you, right? So we called cut in your scene, and Spirit wants you over here. Okay, they want me to start here. I'm being pulled here. I'm like, okay. Spirit really wants to get this message out. It's a download. Yes. Okay, so Spirit really wants me to start with this one. Okay. So I feel like this is your biggest teacher. This has been the one thing that's been recurring for you throughout your childhood, your parents' childhood, your grandparents. I'm being shown that that's how you have defined your genetic history, your past life history. Oh my goodness. So I'm seeing you, because now they're showing me a screen. So we always pull up screens in Lumania. Okay. So I can see you here. In fact, it's interesting. I've got a split screen and I see you on the one side as how I've always known you, as someone who has great faith and belief and who knows and who has told many millions of people throughout history that they don't need money and that everything's going to be okay and they just have to believe. But here I'm seeing that one of your teachers, and I'm going to get to exactly who they are, but they have been highlighting this story. So on the other side of the split screen, I see you defining yourself as, oh yes, your great grandparents, they, I don't know, something to do with money. But you like remembering them through their achievements in the physical realm when you talk about your ancestors, or when you talk about people in your family, you want to highlight what they've done. Even if it's people you know, it's never, oh, I know the pizza man. He's really nice. It's, oh, I know the guy who's acts in that TV show. I know the rugby player for the Springboks. I know Lady Gaga. I know Kylie Minogue. But it feels like that's how you have been defining achievement, success. Because I guess when you were a priest, though, it does make sense. That's what you would have been hearing people wanting to define themselves as when they came for confession. And while you were back then more concerned with philosophical ideas about detaching from reality, now that you're here, it's kind of like whatever happened in 2008. Oh, of course, the crash. What am I saying? Okay, so I'm being shown as well. Okay. So the economic crash of 2008 is what made you like this. Uh-huh. And it hits you really hard because, of course, you define yourself in that way. Oh, of achievement. And so I'm seeing somebody here who had a family. I'm seeing like a teenager and they were at school. Everything was well for everything was good for the first half of their school. And then in the second half, the crash hit. I'm seeing bats. It was like a bat out of hell. A dark night of the soul. And someone's parent here was really a big business something, or they were just starting out a business. It was really innocent. Maybe a pizza business, something to do with food, to help people, feeding the soul, feeding the community. So maybe even a bookstore, maybe thought, something to do with being something positive in the community, bringing something through that was going to help people. And when this tragedy happened, for a lot of you it was the economic crash, but for some it was something else, something personal. But when this happened, it was connected to this structure of family and achievement. And I'm seeing this teenager, like maybe 16, 17, and they're in the last stretches of school, and then they lose everything, and the friends went along with them. I'm seeing them being alone again, and being again, from their past life, but being alone from having been in this other type of world. I'm seeing this was your first loss of innocence. Your first teacher came for you at your first loss of innocence. And your first loss of innocence happened because of financial reasons. Okay, so let's zone in more on who this teacher is. Whew. Okay, so immediately we're dealing with Mars. We're dealing with the devil. We're dealing with will. I see myself flying. I'm flying off above mountains. So maybe some of you could be from Colorado, Cape Town, a place with lots of mountains. And as I'm flying, I'm getting these winds pushing against me, these principalities not of the air, but of oh, I'm seeing someone moving forward, flying, and just hitting up against the glass ceiling. And the glass ceiling to me is a mental trap. It's a glass ceiling to me has to do with, this is why they wanted me to start here, because this coin that you want so desperately, that you already have, that's what you want to prove with all of this. You want to prove that even though you went on this lonely journey, you still have the bounty. Or as my dear friend Querant says, the loot. And so this coin is not just for the sake of a coin. For you, it represents the journey you've been through. It's not really about these things, is it? I'm even being told some of you will just intentionally just dye your hair different, or you'll get a Cybertruck and you'll dye it pink. You'll do things intentionally to exercise your power. When you felt disempowered from this devil energy. And I'm saying this devil energy in the form of a glass ceiling. In a form of a glass ceiling that feels like it comes out of nowhere, but it hits so hard that it feels like it's your fault. I'm seeing someone punishing themselves. I'm seeing someone going through an existential crisis thinking, am I a bad person? Is that why I don't have money? Am I to blame for my situation? What did I do? And you're being told you didn't do anything. It was an external event, because pentacles are external events and external events happen. And when you see Mars here, that's just the devil. And the devil was ruling at that time. Because, we do need the force of the devil in order for reality to sustain itself. So your teacher is the devil. You know the devil. That's why in the previous reading, it was reversed, because you beat Satan. You won. And now I know it wasn't that the devil was, speak, come through. Whenever the devil was trying to talk to people, for example, Jesus in the desert, he didn't just come in and grab Jesus like they do on television shows and just go in a flame and orb into another or blink into another dimension. The devil would go to Jesus and talk to him, would ask him questions, they'd negotiate. They would go through a mental battle. Because that's what I'm being shown here. I'm being shown someone who was flying free, a really good soul, good spirit, good family, good upbringing, people who've achieved a lot of things in the physical realm, like you had a really good story. I'm seeing people who even came from overseas and settled in new countries and built new lives for themselves. And whenever people would complain, you guys wouldn't understand what they were talking about until this happened, until you met the devil. And the devil came to you and spoke to you after this event, because don't forget about Job and, all these people in the Bible where God went, where the devil went to God and asked for permission if he could go after his chosen people. And then God would say yes. Why? Because he knows that you would overcome. You also have, of course, the classic where the devil goes to Eve in the garden. I mean, Eve and Adam have been given the implicit instruction, you can eat from any tree in the garden, but please do not eat from this one because you will surely die. And of course, the devil comes over to Eve. Again, Eve is just free, minding her business. And then the devil comes in and asks her. He didn't grab her and force feed her the apple. No. He was a teacher ordained by God to go into the garden. I mean, think about it. Why would God, the creator of all, first of all, create the devil, and secondly, in the garden, where there's a tree that if you eat it, you will surely die. And there are humans who don't know, who are innocent, who do not yet know. So the purpose I'm being shown here of this teacher was to show you, and this is why many people were burned at the stake. I'm remembering one of my incarnations when I was with you. There's a Scorpio watching right now. And to the Scorpio collective who are watching, I do remember the many times I had to rescue you from those dungeons. And yeah, it got pretty hairy. But you know, I live for that stuff. But yeah, you know, like putting on disguises and being different people, because you knew that the knowledge encoded in that story of our history, which is the Bible, it's our story, it happened to us, for us to remember. The knowledge there is that God created all, including Satan, in order to reveal to man why we need foundation in God. Because if God just left us free without Satan, we truly would be horrific people. We would be beyond saving because we would think we knew everything. And now we're being called to forget what we know and remember what we forgot to remember when we woke up in this world. And you being group 7, it makes perfect sense why. I remember in the previous reading saying, I'm seeing you guys having dreams of fighting between God and the devil, and this is it. Because this was one of your teachers, and the devil cannot tread anywhere on this earth without the permission of God. And that permission has now been given to Jesus, who sits at the right hand of God. And so the devil cannot trample on you without going through Jesus, and Jesus will not let anything happen to you. So the devil that you've had in your life, that you've experienced, was not to harm you. It was not to make you suffer. It was to awaken you to forces you've already dealt with and defeated. And let me tell you, the fives are some of the harshest forces. Not some of, it's the harshest force in the universe. Because this talks about your will. It talks about what you want to put out in this world. In fact, it talks about having something ready to put out into this world. And as soon as you get involved, it gets messed up. I'm being shown here someone who thinks they are cursed. I'm being shown someone who's been going from pillar to post looking for a potion, a solution. That search is over because the teacher is already here with you. And this is your ability to create, and your ability to create unbounded. That's what I'm seeing. The chains of the devil have been loosed over severity of circumstances. So I'm seeing some of you really went through it, like that movie, The Pursuit of Happiness. I'm seeing some of you with children and you are moving around, going from hotel to hotel, but you're not giving up and you are being a beacon of light to your kid. I'm literally seeing you. There's someone with a son, it's a woman. Several. Well, it's a group. That's the thing. You come through as one, but you represent many. And if only you could see yourselves as we see you on the screen, you would know you were not alone. And if only you would get together with each other and create the kingdom within, without, then you won't need all of these other people. Because here, your ancestors are really, really good at keeping you focused on the future. Your grandmothers on your mother and father's side were really, really good to you. I'm seeing that the grandfather on the father's side might have died when you were younger, might not have met them, and it's someone you keep in your memories. Overall, there is a weakened male influence here, either through early death or through a conflict of wills in the male side of the families. And in the feminine energy side of the family, we get a lot of coherence. The women in the family seem to have a way of making circumstances work regardless of what they are. Because here, we're in the realm of Camael. I need to write this down because I feel like it might be important. Now, you know, we like to take notes because sometimes the full picture comes out once the operation is complete. So your first teacher would be Camael or Samael, I guess. You know, opposite, same energy, two ends of the spectrum. Because now, with this teacher appearing here, they want you to understand their role in your life. And, you know, oftentimes you'll hear these kind of woo-woo sayings and ways of explaining what we see when we are in the heavens. But I just want to put it into a way, as many ways of understanding as possible, so that the entire collective gets the message. And so with this one, I want us to look at it as if it's a person, okay? And I want you to see how the energy of this person travels through your life and turns into things, situations, places that affect your emotions and make you believe a certain reality is unfolding. Because any advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic, and that's what we're doing, Group 7. That's what Night Game is. It's magic. We are not divining the future here, okay? We are not trying to look into the future. That's why there are so many Christians who tune into this, because you have redeemed your authority over everything that God created, including the stars and including the trees on which these pages are printed, because these are pages from your book. So let's follow the energy and how it's been coming out in your life. So first, we are dealing, your first teacher is Camael. So we know that we are dealing with Martian energy. So it's very, very hard. There is no space for emotion here. And Camael came to you to show you how hard real life was for all of the people that you counseled in your past lives. Because once your soul gets into a certain motion, it gets very hard for it to change. So once you incarnate as a priest once, or a shaman, a witch, a healer, you will do it again and again and again until the natural movements of time changes how reality plays out. And for the past 250 years, your time as a priest has been over. You've only incarnated maximum 4 lives in this new reality where we no longer have divine right of kings being recognized, but it still exists. So we have people with the divine right of kings listening right now who are working at a convenience store or who are working at Sephora. And the reason for that is the devil, or rather Camael, an angel, an emissary of hell. Because yes, hell is an astral dimension too, Hades. And the thing Hades likes to talk about in his realm is that you should never worry about what happens to you on earth, because everyone's going to the same place at the end. Or everyone will pass through the 9th gate at the end. So why worry about the things of pain? Because this is not real pain, it's mental pain. Because with this pentagram, it's like a spell. It's like what you tell yourself about money. It's the associations you make based on your family tradition and history that really determine how Camael comes to you. Because now this is how the energy flows. So in the world, a catastrophe will happen. And instead of moving your attention towards the light and just keeping your eye on the ball and staying focused, you have this spell of voices speaking to you about what your situation means. And I'm seeing here that Camael was able to take root in your life at that time. I'm going to write down 2008, I guess. Because November. Because that's when you died from your old life of comfort. Or hope. I'm being shown hope. This is when your hope died. That's when Camael came to teach you. And he's been with you, I'm being told. In fact, you own this energy now. You own this realm. You have the ability to transmute this. Some of you will go into prosperity ministering. You'll be able to create money from nothing, just from ideas, because now you are pulling the awareness back to you. You are no longer giving your awareness out to the thoughts and ideas of other people who are trying to keep you locked in their realm. The only thing this circle is protecting now is you from leaving it and falling into old patterns. And Camael, oh, I'm being shown that you got the same pattern over and over and over and over and over and over again. And to the point where some of you even wondered, am I in a movie? Is this a script? Where people would even say the same lines to you over and over again. I see people going to work and you get the same annoying employee in every single job doing the exact same thing. And you keep wondering what is wrong with you. Nothing was wrong with you. The reason why people couldn't take or handle your energy is because you were walking with an archangel of hell. But now you own it. Just like King Solomon used the demons to build the temple that God told him to build, you are using your demons to build your temple. So your first one is Camael. And Camael is connected to your family. So I want you to look and meditate into your family and see how the devil or demonic energy has manifested through that avenue, because that's where the deal was made, where God allowed the avenue of Satan or Camael and his beings to come through. And their beings will bring a lot of strife, okay? A lot of strife. I'm seeing people literally not knowing what to eat at some point. You know, like strife is not a word we use often, but this is literally strife. It's not just being broke, it's being broken. And then building yourself back up by pulling back. You turn yourself concave. Instead of being like this and trying to reach the mountain, a peak, or being flat and neutral, you turn yourself concave and let the waters run into you, so that you then become your own family, your divine family. And then you operate with the boundary of what you will and will not do. So another message I'm being told here is that you should see your family as actually people who helped you. So I'm laughing because someone in there is saying that their family is a narcissist. And I'm saying, yes, a narcissist is a demon. And that is a blessing, because you are the only one who would have had the strength to pass the test, which is why God allowed it. The same way God allowed Eve to eat the apple by putting it there, knowing they would eat it, is so that's the same way he knew they would return back to him when they realized why they shouldn't have left. That's you. You now realize how you had it. You realize, I want to say, you realize why you shouldn't have left the comfort of your inner beingness when you came to earth. That you shouldn't have left your knowingness. And I'm hearing someone say you shouldn't say the word shouldn't. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. But that's the feeling, that's the vibration, that's the tone. It's a guilt, it's a self-recrimination, because the word should is a regret, is a recrimination. But now we are shifting it and saying, look, it's a lesson. Keep the lesson and leave the rest. And you've certainly learned the lesson. So yes, I'm seeing that your family had some demonic energy in there. And it's okay. This is where you get your marine powers from. Because now you can walk into the marine kingdom and all of them know you because you defeated their head prince and his emissaries. So no demon shall come after you. And that's why we got that card. Now it makes sense, Group 7. That's why we got the devil and death in reverse. Well, especially the devil in reverse, because they work for you. All demons now work for you, and all angels support you. Okay, so Camael, November 2008, that was a family situation that you went through, and it did change your spirit. I mean, it made you who you are today, and you're being called to understand that this is what makes you you. You are a provocateur because you have been provoked, and you saw how being provoked by Satan made you into this being that you are. And so now you are going to accept, well, I guess you are going to accept him as your teacher, Camael, which is an archangel, by the way. Samael is the demon, the dark side. But now that's what I'm saying. You are now embracing, because once you get a mentor, only one of two things will happen. You'll either become like the mentor, or you'll want to become anything but like the mentor. But what many people on this journey fail to realize or understand is that you cannot run away from them. So regardless of what you think or want, you will either become Camael's student or Samael's student. And so you are now, though, being, rewarded for making the right choice and choosing Camael, which talks about then transforming that energy. So you know about change. You know, I'm just writing down about transformation. Your teacher. Oh my gosh. Your teacher is the King of Shadows. So in this phase, I'm being shown that was who was teaching you, Pluto. Of course, because he's the high vibration of Mars. Oh, that's beautiful. That's why you literally were taught by the devil. Better the devil you know. It's better the devil you know. For all of the music, that's one of the lyrics from my song. Go to the description box. The song's called Boy Toy. And there's a line that says, it's always better the devil you know. Because I'm your boy toy. Boy toy. I'm seeing a lot of you felt like, yeah, okay. You guys have a real good sense of humor about it now, but I'm seeing that you guys felt like you were literally being thrown around by the devil. Between devil and God, like you were a boy toy. And, now some of you are hippies, I'm seeing, and you're just like, whatever. I'm just going to go with the flow. Whatever happens, I don't care, because something's going to come out of it that works. You feel a sense of inevitability now. That's what I'm getting. You feel a sense that change is inevitable, but we don't want you to be numb. Pluto's saying, we don't want you to be numb. When I taught you these things, it wasn't for you to be numb. And it wasn't for you to embrace darkness. It was for you to understand that you are made up of all of these things. You are made up of disagreements. You are made up of coherence. You like hanging out in strip clubs, and you like going to church and praying and being filled with the Holy Spirit. Instead of letting those things confuse you by the things that are in the world, because you see these points are reaching out of the circle. So there's an influence here that's coming from outside this your sphere of influence, and it's something that you were letting happen because you're used to people having access to your energy, because you're an empath. You have active powers and passive powers, and your passive powers open you up to the astral realm and the ethers very easily, which sends a lot of demonics coming your way because they can sense that you have access to the light and they can suck on it. Because if you really want to know what demons want, they just want to be around you because they know you'll be safe. And so you are like their torch. They use you as a wand instead of getting their own wands. And so that's what was happening to this person here, to you, the collective. And so now you are being told and being awakened to realizing that yes, change is inevitable, you know that, but then you were at the place of, and then so what? So change is going to change is going to happen. Now what? What does that mean for me? And what they're saying is, what it means is, that's now your domain. Because they only teach you, okay, you guys will understand your group 7. But a lot of people forget that how things used to work is you go under apprenticeship based on a calling that you have from Lumania, from the causal realm. And that's how you find what you do in life, your talent, your skill. You don't go to a school, a class, that's all corrupt. This entire system on earth is corrupt because, you know, there are people who are running countries who have zero qualifications to run a country. That is an abnormal thing. That's like a tree growing in the middle of the air with no soil, roots, or nutrients. Would you eat the fruit from that kind of tree? Is it a tree or is it an illusion? That's the same thing as what this current, or rather, let's say the old world was, because now we've changed it. We won. And so now we are going back to how things used to be, where you have a divine calling and then you get apprenticeship. And the only reason these teachers come to you is because you are going to take over their spot. And you had to incarnate as a priest many, many times before you could get the opportunity to take over. Because that's how it works. You come in here, you go out, you come to us. Should I tell them who we are? We are the 7 spirits of God. We represent those 7 lights. We are the Holy Spirit. We live in the realm of the Holy Spirit, on the left hand of God. And we are married to Jesus on the right hand of God. And together we provide an energetic grid of frequency, vibration, and energy that powers all your prayers and wishes and commands that you send us. You can think of that as our Wi-Fi that connects us to you. And so when you would leave one life and then come back up to meet us, we would ask you, we would learn from you, we would acquire your energy signature. Because as lights up there, or as the 7 spirits, we couldn't come down to earth. We were trapped up there. Before Jesus came, all you guys had was each other. And then when you would transition and die, as you say on this planet, you would come to us and tell us everything. And then when Jesus did hang himself on that cross for humanity, he was able to build the bridge through all the realms and lay out the map, which you see some of on this thumbnail for this transmission we are having now, so that he could reach us and release us to the world. And that is how I came to be here now, assigned to you, Group 7, because I know you. And so now that you know you, we are asking you to take this job of being okay with not getting what you want. That stung a few people, I'm being told. Just writing notes. It's not a matter of detaching, because that's pretending like you don't care. It's a matter of understanding that what you want does not define who or what you are. What you want, aka your desires, do not define who or what you are. Embody that in your role. Now, this is our first teacher, Camael. We're going to go into what they each want in a second. We just need to look at our second teacher. Okay, where are you pulling me next? I feel pulled. I mean, let's center these here so we can see. Okay. So this is this teacher. Oh, somebody could be feeling a pressure on their neck. If you are, it's just your spirit guide holding you, or rather alerting you to take notes if you need to take notes. They are telling me you need to write. Someone needs to write. Okay. I'm being called now to... I'm being called... There is so much energy in this. And it's almost like a Merkaba in slow motion and glimpsing it and describing what you're seeing. Every time it shifts, it moves. Okay, I'm just going to do this because the space. Okay, we'll focus on these now. Let him peek through a little. Jeez. Little better. Okay, so we've connected. Okay, I want us to go to a teacher who's helping. A helper teacher. So let's go to... Let's go to this Two of Cups. I feel like I'm surfing. I'm surfing on the waves of energy in the astral marine kingdom. Whew. Okay. Now this teacher, let's go here. This gatekeeper. The first gatekeeper I drew. Okay, so immediately I'm getting a flash and spinning and just a lot of things happening. So Aquarius is definitely here. Aquarius, to me, well, is lightning inspiration. So I'm seeing, oh, so this is someone who's busy. Your teacher here was really very admirable, very respectable, someone you actually looked up to, but also very busy. I'm getting a lot of options. Is someone is dating? Aquarius. Okay, I see. Oh wow, Aquarius. So group 7, you guys were accused of being hoes. You were accused of being 403s, of being... some of you were given scarlet letters. You were, people made up rumors about you that you were stealing people's boyfriends. People were saying that you are on, these websites. People were saying that you sleep with international men for money. People were saying that you are a nymphomaniac. People were saying a lot. But all it was this teacher over here. And this teacher is Archangel Raziel, yes. This Aquarian energy that Archangel Raziel, I feel, is bringing right now is coming out like these just flashes of fun, though. It is. It's really flashes of aquamarine fun. And these are things that are unpredictable, that happen to you all the time. And these are literally the only things that I feel make you feel connected to the divine, because they seemingly have no purpose other than just to reflect back to you what you've been feeling inside the whole time. I'm seeing moments here of you where you will literally not tell anyone anything, and you'll manifest in quiet, and you'll just get off on the fact that you were able to make something manifest into physical from nothing. And if you go into the description box, you'll see a link to my book that I wrote, which is all about manifesting. But you don't need that, because it's a game for you. It's fun. You expect reality to give you what you want. You expect your dreams to come true, and it's because there is a teacher here with you, Archangel Raziel, who has been making your dreams come true. But I'm being told that the only way he does it is through seeking form with like-minded people. See, he's looking for people who look like him, or you are looking for people who look like you. It's always being on the lookout. Always be, there's a bolo on you. On the lookout. But it's almost as if you have a bolo out on your dreams and on the people you like, and you have a very single, one-track mind where it doesn't work for you if it's not coherent. It just has to be equal. And it's like I'm seeing a dance of these little flashes of aquamarine kind of lightning bolts. And the thing though is they're both flashing around looking for somewhere to go, looking for, looking to stop, looking for it to end. You've been searching for love. That's what Raziel's telling me. He's telling me that he was the one who made you. I'm sorry, but you guys sleep around. Whoever this is sleeping around a lot. Group 7. Whoa, what's happening? Okay. What is up with that? They keep like highlighting that. But they're saying it because of Aquarius, and you are like a lightning bolt, like an electricity thing, a plug point, trying to find your way, or trying to find a connection. You're looking for connection with this card. And so this teacher tells me that you've been looking for connection. One of the gates you've passed is how to make connection. So, of course, Raziel's telling me that now you did not become cynical. I'm seeing heartbreak. I'm seeing a lot of you. Oh my goodness, because of your vibrational stature, a lot of you. And again, I told you, you guys, Group 7, come from Yeshod. You only incarnated through the moon because you know us. You're a Holy Spirit. And why do you think I'm teaching you this? Because you're going to take over from us when you finish being this incarnation, these incarnations. But yeah, so you met your soulmates, you met your twin flames, and they still didn't recognize you. And that broke you. I'm seeing these lines are broken. As soon as they're about to connect, they break off. Because even though they are equal and respectable, this is telling me more of wanting that, seeking that in your life experience and being taught about that. So you now know not to put people up on a pedestal. You now know to not lean on anyone else emotionally. You have to have your own life. You have to have your own goals and visions and dreams. You might even have to sleep in a separate bedroom from someone, because a lot of you have a very closed aura system, and if you sleep with someone, you will not be able to get sleep, and they will not be able to get sleep. So these are the things that you've learned to reevaluate. I'm being shown as well with Aquarius a lot of sexual experimentation into different modes of being and expression. People are awakening. I'm seeing the divine masculine awakening to the idea that love is love regardless of the genetic expression of the individual who happens to be the object of that love. And with the way, the flow of the world that it is going in now, this teacher of yours could have made you shut down. It could have turned you into somebody who is afraid to connect because of the possible heartbreak. But instead, it turned you someone who turned inwards and opened themselves up to just it's almost like you're bouncing light off yourself, within yourself. I'm seeing someone making themselves happy with their own thoughts. And people are thinking, oh, it's voodoo. It's bad. No, it's just their own thoughts bouncing around in their body. And that's what you've done in your mind. You've built these mirrors where you've seen yourself as who you want to be. And you've decided in your soul that, it's okay to like two things. It's not like your parents said, you have to choose between love or money. You have to go to work or you have to stay home. You have to marry a boy or you have to marry a girl. You can do whatever you want because you don't get electricity and magnetism works together and better as electromagnetism. And that's what you've developed here. That's your power. That's what this teacher taught you. Electromagnetism. You have Riz. So this teacher over here, Raziel, taught you electromagnetism. He taught you to be charismatic. Or she. Raziel taught you that you have your own world of creation and that's your savior. Or that's your safety, I should say. I'm getting some Isaac. Is one of you named Isaac? Isaac. Really, really. Is this the time? Yes. Okay, so we have our two teachers who have contributed to you being. So let's go back to our central figure and figure out how this teacher affected this one. So I'm seeing with your character as you've been playing it most recently, that's why you have these big things. That's why it feels like you're telling yourself that as soon as you get money, then you'll be able to either escape from everyone or you'll be able to go after the person you want. Because now that you know what you want, you'll be able to make a choice. But Raziel is saying the choice is yours no matter what. You don't need that to make this. Your choices need to be independent of your outside influences of your family or ancestors, tradition, culture, etc. Your choices need to be yours. Otherwise, whose are they? Because if they aren't yours, then they're Satan's. Because they have to be. That's the harsh lesson you learned, that if you are not following your intuition, you're following Satan. Because these paths lead to one place. And here, you have the ability to choose without needing to then control. Let it flow to you. You choose, and then through magnetism, by matching what you want, you let it flow to you. And just watch your mind. Watch what you reflect on. Watch what media you're consuming. Raziel is saying, watch what's on your internet. And use What's on your, oh, he's saying watch your phone. Okay. So Raziel is saying actually set up your phone so that it reinforces what you want, know, and believe to be true about your reality. And that's the real way you'll be able to entrench that energy of Raziel. That's amazing. Now, of course, I have to follow the colors, well, from there to there to there to there to there. And we have to talk about the fourth teacher, or I should say the fourth gatekeeper, which came out as La Papesse, the High Priestess. Just taking my notes. Now, of course, this is a very, very serious teacher, and it gives me an idea of the kind of journey that you've had. And, you know, we've been talking about you being a priest in your past life and everything. So, of course, one of your teachers would have to be the original manatee, marine, La Papesse, the high priestess. And so, again, I was getting that strong feminine energy coming from here, where the feminine energy in your family is coherent, but the masculine energy is very combative, or there was none. And so it's understandable how your soul incarnated into this family and life you're in. It's because you're under the great mysteries of Venus, of the divine feminine, of Sophia. Because here I'm being shown that that's who your teacher is in the fourth gate. So it's Sophia, huh? And of course, that would translate into this first plane of reality we live in, the material realm, because Sophia James brought you here, Group 7. If it wasn't for her, we wouldn't all be here. And this is that manifestation of that energy. And this is what this teacher's telling me about you, or their influence in your life. She has been responsible for opening doors and dropping you in timelines. She's why you're here. At the beginning of this, I said you had jumped or come in here from a different timeline. And now I understand why. It's because you are working with or traveling through or under the power of Sophia, the great wisdom. And when we think seeing is believing, she always comes out to tell us that looks can be deceiving. Let me write that down. When we think seeing is believing, the high priestess comes to show you that looks can be deceiving. I feel a connection between these two cards, that as soon as this tragedy happened, or I'm also getting that it might not have been like an immediate thing. It could have just been like someone whose family was just defined by some sort of struggle. And that as soon as this teacher activated, It gave a kind of break of illusion, whereas, you know, in here we were living in this kind of unstable reality where people had influence over your manifestational ability, or at least it appeared that way. And in here, it came out to be the meaning behind why this was no longer working and why you had to move out of it, because there was no connection in this place. Meaning the people you were trying to impress over here didn't even care about you, didn't even like you, didn't even understand you. Because I'm seeing that this is the truth of life. And the truth of life is that hard work is built on the blood of others. That's just a fact. And you don't have to commit that blood, but you do have to be aware that you wouldn't be here without it. And so it's not something that you take lightly, not at all. The blood of your ancestors is important, but you have to be blind to it, in that it does not help you in this current moment that you are in if it is not leading you where you want to go. And so this high priestess energy to me tells me of a strong cutoff game. It tells me of someone who, yes, they would go through pain, but they would bounce back. Go through it again, bounce back. Go through it, bounce back. Go through it, bounce back. And this bounce back was done through changing, through that transformation we talked about, through changing appearance. I see someone with blue hair. I see someone with mermaid hair, those purple tones, etc. This person built their own stage, their own world, where wherever they were in trouble, they could just escape. And using their strong mental abilities that we talked about here, which were being used externally, here you use them internally. You have a very beautiful cosmology of teachers here, because this would be your external strategy. You would go partying a lot, sleep around, looking for connection. And then here, you would go internal. You would cut yourself off from the world. You would study all these ancient books. I'm seeing people reading the Kabbalion and the Kabbalah and the Book of Splendor and all of these different yogic techniques and Kama Sutra even. I'm seeing people opening their own cults in Himaros, in eroticism, in just anything possible to escape this devil energy. And you had to lie to yourself. You had to go through it all, pretending or acting, I should say, until it became beautiful. You just made it a ritual. You made your well-being a ritual. You prioritized yourself so much. You made well-being a ritual. Your ritual to connect to your history, your real self, your real past life as a priest. Isn't that beautiful? And because you're being guided by this crescent moon, like I said, I told you, priests come from the moon. We are the only ones who can incarnate through the moon. We are the only ones who can come through the moon we're back online. Everyone else comes through either the throne, wait, the 5th or the 4th. Yeah. Everyone comes from the 5th or the 4th. I mean, I'm thinking of the planes now. Because we come from the 5th, which corresponds to the moon. And then the humans come from, they come from the 3rd or the 4th. Yeah. So yeah. I don't know. They're like, don't worry about that. Only focus on the moon, where you come from. That's what she's saying. Only focus on where you come from. Only focus on where you come from. Okay, group 7, I'm starting to feel this. We are here for each other. Me as part of the 7 lights and you as group 7 to be the 7 lights. We are here for each other. We did not come here to convert anyone or save anyone. We came here to fortify each other, to be with our people. That is it. And you've already got your triple crown. You've already been coronated and recognized because the person teaching you is the keeper of the keys. When Jesus gave us the keys of the kingdom, these are the ones he was talking about. He was giving us the keys to heaven and to hell. And we are from this group of souls that came out of Mercury, Venus, the sun, some of you, and incarnated in this plane to be trained. This was a specific program of training for you. Okay. This was a program. This is a program that was put in Lumania. They put the... Okay, I see. Oh my gosh. You're not like other humans. You were constructed. You're a construct. Okay, so I'm being told that you knew it was a program. It was. It was a direct program from the throne room to Lumania. You are Lumanian. Okay, 2 of Cups. 2. Star, Marine. Star, Marine. This is it. Okay. Because the High Priestess is a direct path from the crown of God in the throne room to the beauty of God, which was the last card we got last time. And so the connection there is that this is the Star Marine program. So group 7 oh boy. It's Mercury. Okay, Group 7. Yeah, this is a tiny percentage of people. It's the Star Marines. Star Marines are Group 7. What the heck? Yeah. It's again. Except this time I'm getting Aries. Why am I getting Aries? The red. This red. It's giving me the first. The first of something. You guys are the first of this kind. I'm being shown that you are being trained digitally. So okay, I see what happened now. I'm being shown. Okay, so in your last incarnations, after the divine right of kings ended, so this is when monks were no longer, respected, and people didn't really believe in God, and people didn't care about their spiritual development and connecting to Jesus and finding the way. This is when this program was unleashed. About 200, I'm getting around 1700s, 1800s. That's when this would have been released. This also pulls in a lot of indigenous peoples whose lands were discovered. They also fall under this. Because of that intermingling of cultures, it was the first of its kind. The first of its kind to blend two electromagnetics, to blend two polarities two into one and see what would happen. So the devil went to God and said, "Oh, what are you going to do now that you don't have the divine right of kings? How are people going to believe in you and find you now that everyone thinks they're a king?" And God said, "I have my people. They will find me." And the devil said, "No, they won't. They will think they're a god, and they will say, 'I am a god,' and then they will break your rules, and then you'll have to smote them. And then they won't do their mission." And then God said, "No, they will find me. I have faith." And so we got these two teachers to balance out that energy. That's amazing. Because for me, this then would be about overcoming death. This, I did say in the beginning, this is the blood of our ancestors. Okay, Aries, death, Pluto. Okay. Whoa. The symmetry here is beautiful. But then it makes me think if these two are connected, these two are connected too. So let's just move on here. So you actually have powers to literally dimension jump. You've been dimension hopping this whole time. That's what's been happening. This has just been one big dimension hop for you. And these people will open timelines because they have the keys. You literally just change dimensions and you don't know what happened. You have the Mandela effect all the time because you are a star marine, the light and the dark. You give and you take, you push and you pull, you work and rest. And you have help. I'm also seeing opportunities through knowledge. A lot of you just have good luck by knowing the right thing at the right time and saying it to the right person at the right place. And it's almost like you never sleep. And you know what people are thinking and when they're thinking it. Because of the moon's influence, no one can do magic on you because all magic goes through the moon. And the people who deal with you or try to deal with you in a harsh or negative way, they end up getting really, really messed up because when they do a spell on you, I mean, come on, it cannot work. And I don't want to go into what happens to them. So you are highly protected, and this actually tells me that your gatekeeper, your doorways are sealed. Your doorways are really, really, really protected, sanctified. Like nothing comes in, nothing comes in. You have flaming swords like at your door, at your house, at all your entrances. There are flaming swords literally around you all the time, just protecting you. There are wars being fought to protect you in the realms. So the High Priestess really wants you to just follow your intuition, to keep doing the same message keeps coming through. Just keep doing what you know. Hang out with who you know. Do what you know. I'm getting also from here, stranger danger. Yeah, she hates it. Stay away from new people. I'm seeing some of you thinking about new love. I'm being told no. You're only going to love people you already know. In the realms. Oh, I was told they're already married in the realms. Okay, so yeah, you guys, you're already married in the realms. So there's no way you're going to be doing that. So no more dating. Any dating apps, delete it. We'll get confirmation on that. Let's just wait. Someone said let's just wait and see. But yeah, delete it. I'm literally saying stick to what and who you know. And then of course, let's do this gateway. Up here, gateway 2. Or gatekeeper 2. Who's our teacher there? Now this teacher, I don't like it. I looked at it and I didn't like it. I didn't want it. That's what I'm hearing from the collective. They're like, this was just painful and was trapped, couldn't move. Let's see. Ooh. What's the tea? I always say that wands remind me of flowers and tea and drinking tea. And this time there's actually tea. We are having tea. Oh gosh. This was a harsh teacher. This was a teacher that made you keep going back and plan. Oh, I'm just seeing someone who writes and writes and writes and writes and writes. A lot of Virgo energy here. Someone writing notes and then deleting the notes. Someone even coming up with formulas and coming up with plans, like a pre-production in a movie. I mean, you know, you have to do research, you have to do development, you have to do resemiotization. It's just a lot of boring work. I feel the boredom. And I know you got, yeah, you didn't like this one. You did not like this teacher. Um, this teacher, I'm seeing, taught you to stay still. This teacher taught you to build. Ooh, I'm seeing you possibly, I don't know, just like doing the same thing over and over again. Or maybe being called. Like maybe you were chasing money, but you were always called to teach and now you're teaching. Or you were always chasing love and then you were called to settle down and make a choice. Whatever it was always about like settle down, make a choice, but it feels like you were trapped. You took it as a feeling of trappedness. But what was happening is you were being shown that you need to have stability before you can move. It's like a race. On your marks, get set, go. You can only do that if you follow those positions of movement. You can't just jump into a race. And so you were being prepared for this now that we're in this race by just being forced to, I feel like, just repeat yourself a lot. And that felt like the trap. It was just cycles and cycles of the same thing. But what I'm getting from that though, because I'm thinking, well, that's nice because repetition means it gets easier and easier, but you saw it as a trap. And I'm getting the Archangel Camael. That's the T, I guess. And yeah, he has to do with order and once something has been given the ability to shine or the ability to expose itself, once something has shown itself, like an idea, for example, it still needs to have a plan. Like, how are you going to bring that idea to fruition? It needs a structure, right? And so that's what you learned by doing things. So I'm just hearing someone who had to really suffer in the earthly plane in terms of manifesting what they wanted, their ideas. I'm even getting musicians who work in studios with a bunch of other musicians, and they could be the singer, like you are the singer, priest listening, Group 7. But you've had situations where everyone else in the studio takes over. And then you're too nice to say anything. And that feels like a trap. But I'm saying that means you just have more experience in how to handle those situations because you know more of how those things would happen or how they would play out. So to me, this is a masking energy. This is someone who's masking how they feel. When they feel trapped. So they don't want to say it, I'm writing down. And all of this contributes to why you want this. Now this makes sense. Now that I see you as a character, I have more empathy for why you have all of these things and why money is so important to you. Because for you, money is actually a symbol of the same achievement. And, in the beginning, it's true, money was a symbol of just achievement, of material things, like the men in your family. I'm even seeing women in your family who told you that men were useless. or that men were only good for money or something. That was there. But now you can also align to the coherent part of your DNA that's within you and exclude the rest, which tells you, because if you see these are touching. So the wisdom here is to learn from your divine feminine bloodline. I mean, it can't be any clearer. It cannot be any clearer. That is the key here. And I can see how that made you want to achieve, first you wanted money, but now you want that coherence inside of you. You want to be rich and worship God at the same time. And I see here with the Mars Pentacle, you want to be known for that achievement. You want the achievement to even protect you from any hurt you might feel. But you also, well, might feel, because now people might be after you for money, but now you've learned energy because you've dated so much, you've been hurt so much, you know what to look for. So it won't just be people dating you for money. You can have both. And then also you are representative. This is what you're fighting for. You're fighting for all of these mysteries that you gathered and stored up for yourself in the heavens. And the reason why you're able to move and do things the way you do is because you've been through the ringer and been through so many repetitive situations. I can't even, I just feel your stress here. This is the most boring thing I can think of. To just be essentially, there's nowhere to hide over here. I mean, imagine if we were making a movie and this was our lighting plan. These would be like spotlight, 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 spotlight. Nothing would happen. The light would be trapped. Ones need to move. Ones sitting like that are pretty much, impotent because you can't. Yeah, I want you to imagine this as your sandbox of play. This is where you come to play. This is where you think. And yes, it is just for you. So that's right. Satkiel is your solitude. That's the wisdom, because I can see how this can lead to this, especially when this happens, because this would make you want to just go out and be with people. But I think, and what I'm hearing is that solitude is the answer. Okay. Now let's read this energy here. So can I put this like this? And like this? And like this? And like this. Okay, so now we're building on this foundation. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the 2. Where did we start? So we started down there. Okay. Now I'm going to go there because those were for that. Yes, Spirit, let's go to the 2 of Cups. Just writing my notes. 2 of Cups, High Priestess. What was this? 4 of Wands. And Priestess. And then be 12 cups. Yeah, Priestess. And Five of Pence. Okay, so where are we? We're on the Two of Cups, which was we're doing the first gatekeeper now. Okay, Two of Cups. So now we're going up. I feel the energy is centered, so we can go in order. Oh. Okay, Two of Cups, what are you saying? What are you saying? Okay, so with Two of Cups, I'm seeing thoughts, right? We said that it was Raziel, yes. Oh, those flashes of electricity and those thoughts, electromagnetism. So what I'm seeing here is that spirit is guiding you to direct your attention to this. Yeah, it's true. The spirits are saying, direct your attention to becoming the magician, because when you put this as your role, let's put it in there. This is what will grow in your experience. Yeah, they want you to become the magician. And they want you to pay attention to the magic in your life. They want you to pay attention to the star part of you. They want to highlight your intuition, because you can see the crown here and here. Is showing us that you have aspects of the high priestess embedded in the people you like, the people you look for. Yeah, because this is your, okay. Okay, so you are not a hoe or a 403. This is what's happening. You are looking for your divine counterpart, right? Who will help you unleash your magic, the one that you want to work with and do your magic. So that energy of the magician is magnetizing your teacher over here by making you seek out a lot of people. Like I'm seeing, going out, or at that one point in your life, right? That search, or maybe being obsessed with love, or some kind of like obsession though, or putting people on a pedestal. It had to do with you trying to connect your magic to yourself. So the people you really liked, you were seeing parts of yourself in them, and it had to do with their abilities. The people you like and will end up with actually do magic. And I'm seeing that the thing that they would like you to not focus on is acting like you don't know anything when you do, because that's a very screwy vibration that comes out of these cards. I mean, let's just push these all the way back, shall we? I mean, geez. let's look at it this way. It's a little bit clearer. Well, for me, anyway. Okay, so there you go. Now I can think. Put that down here. Okay, so this is in conflict. So Spirit is saying, or this teacher who is Raziel, he's saying, focus on your powers, on being a star marine, instead of acting brand new. Okay? Because only one of these can win. It's a battle. La bataille. Only one of these can win the battle. And some people bring a knife and some people bring the whole fifth dimension. Bring the fifth dimension with you because this is what has to win. So I'm going to close him because we don't want that. We don't want you thinking like, oh my gosh, how did I do that? It's so weird. Isn't it weird when I manifest stuff? I want you to delete the word weird from your dictionary. Yes, we've taken him out. I'm taking him. We are closing that door. Raziel is also saying they want you to invite the energy of victory into your life. They want you to invite the energy of peace into your life. They want you to invite the energy of pure fire worship directed up to God. So just be grateful. This is a sign for you to be grateful and to pray for other people. Pray for other people. That is one thing that you do that they want you to keep. That's something that, in fact, you can invite more of, more gratitude, but gratitude for having victory over the forces that try to stop you, because the forces of your spirit are still working. I mean, you still have a mind, you still have the ability to focus. This is all about focus, but focusing for the purposes of the kingdom. We can even say that this is about balancing what you want with what others want. It's about coming into harmony with your internal and external self and actually giving a purpose to beauty, not just beauty for beauty's sake or form for form's sake, but giving a purpose to beauty. Like music is beautiful, but it also has frequencies which have a physiological effect on the body, a healing effect. That's what you're being invited to call in, and believe you can do it because you are free. That's the only way it works. This is not a doubtful energy. Raziel is saying this is a very, very confident, hot energy, and it's working in conjunction with Raphael. I'm seeing Raphael here as well. And so you're getting a very, very, a wide host of angels that are also coming with you. You've got the Malachim, because these are messenger angels. So invite the messages in, is what I'm getting. Invite the messages of harmony and victory in. News is coming. Invite it in. And the only way you'll invite it in is if you be on the lookout. Always be on the lookout for people like you, electromagnetism, because they are coming. And then finally, you need to release this, because this is limiting your perception. It's making you think things that are not real. And again, it comes from a mental place. It comes from a place of feeling trapped. It comes from a need for power. That's what this really comes down to. It comes down to feeling powerless. It comes down to feeling like there's something wrong with you and that you're not living in the same reality as everybody else is, because nothing seems to work right for you. And this is really about you just coming into alignment with who you really are. But you cannot do that if you're focused on all of these voices. Because now what I'm getting is when you are looking for people to vibe with, you always let money be a reason. Like, oh no, I can't hang out with that person because then I need to buy petrol. I need to go. I'm getting the song Soak Up the Sun by Sheryl Crow, where she's like, I can't hang out with my friend because I don't have gas. So I'm going to stay home. That's what you're doing. You're making it all be about the money. Sheryl Crow should have said, hey, I'll walk to your house or have the meeting at mine. Okay, that's what we would have done. Okay, so no more soaking up the sun. You need to come out. And I've closed these things now. So now I'll even just take them away. I'm in a black hole. Okay, so now our first teacher is like this. This is good. Okay, now I can draw these ones. Let's get it. Let's go. Okay, this was... Okay, so Gatekeeper 1, which was the second card we drew, done. Let's go to High Priestess first. Gatekeeper, okay, let's go in order. Gatekeeper 2. Four of Wands. Let's draw 4 more cards. Okay. So this is where I want to see, because if you feel trapped right now, I mean, I want you to come out of the trap. So this is going to be about movement, because I want you to come out the trap in the name of Jesus. So this is where I want you to take action. I'm picking the cards. You can't see them. Too bad. There. Satisfied? Ooh. 1. La pape. La pape. La poo. The Pope. Also known as the Great Benefactor. This Group 7, the energy. Energy. You are very well designed creatures, I must say. Okay, so Spirit wants you to believe. Spirit wants you to take action on your beliefs. They want you to act on what you believe. They want you to use your experience as an anchor for what you believe, and also to verbalize exactly what you believe, codify it even. You can use so much technology nowadays that you can even go into your generative language models and create really, really cool ideations on what you believe. And that's what they are saying. Focus on what you believe. That's your next action, to pray. Whether you're praying for, what we said here, for the victory of your community, yourself, and others, or whether you're praying for more connection to the other realms, whatever it is, it will make you escape out of this box. And I know that you live in a world where prayer is not very popular or trusted, but just understand that you have in this divine matrix of yours an echo of your high priestess, the program that you're on. So it's almost like the high priestess is coming through your planes of existence to tell you, hey, whenever you feel like you're trapped, just remember me. Just remember that I have overcome judgment. Just remember that I have overcome the internal battles and internal conflict of who I am, and am I allowed to do this? Am I allowed to read tarot cards? I'm a Christian. Can you watch tarot cards? Can you watch scary movies? Can you swear? Can you? Of course you can. Just don't murder people. That's all we ask. And so you have the authority, because I'm being told you're from a divine source of providence. And this divine source of providence is giving you permission to travel. I'm seeing some Sagittarian energy. I'm seeing you traveling without having to leave the house. So maybe taking, psychedelics or something, but there is a way that you commune. I'm seeing here with the divine, taking a potion, shall we say. And that is something that right after this ends, I mean, you're doing it now, but right after this ends, please make a prayer. Pray to Jesus Christ of Nazareth and just say, hey, you don't have to pray in any weird way. You just talk to Jesus. That's the beauty of him. You just say, hey, JC, how's it going? And then he'll talk to you. When I see these color correspondences, it gives me more of a feeling of what you were trying to do or what you're feeling right now. It's like you have this undergarment that has all this knowledge, because if you look at all these cards, the red is the undergarment, but then he's covering it with this yellow gold, which is nothing like him. It's like I'm peeling back the layers of who you are, and on the surface I'm seeing someone who just wants to know about money and security, but actually there's a method to your madness. There are reasons why you behave the way you behave, and it's really fascinating to see it in this way. Because I'm seeing this energy of the Pope. It's like this Two of Cups, that red there, moving to here, to form. Yeah, that's what it is. It's free-flowing energy like water pouring out of a cup and filling up the space. So the Spirit is saying, when you pray, you are taking attention away from your constant need to be with someone or to find your soulmate, and you are pouring the water into this structure, which will then raise you up and you'll be able to swim out of it. Because with this Hierophant, we're moving. It's a movement from like a pure energy, unbridled chokhmah, to a form of energy that now has a shape but is limited by the shape because it's lonely. So I'm seeing that this teacher, the Four of Wands, Tzadkiel wanted to keep you alone so that you would develop a strong spiritual practice again. He wanted you to pray so that you would raise up out of your loneliness, and then you would only use your powers to magnetize people, to magnetize the right people, instead of magnetizing demons to yourself all the time. Back then, which you don't do anymore, thank God, as we saw in the previous reading. Okay, so I like that. So the next thing for you to do is to pray. It raises your vibration. It lifts you up like water rising. And they want you to cut people out. I'm getting that again. Except here. Let's see where. I was going to go like this. What I was going to do. So you seem to be chilled. In the past, you used to be distracted by anything and everything. Everyone's problem was your problem. Everyone's catastrophe was your catastrophe. You would stop doing what you needed to do to go help somebody else. That was making you trapped. I feel it. I mean, I don't like this. It's just the zone is a lot. It's a lot. And I'm so happy for you that you made it and that you transmuted this energy, because it's really, really, it's like just, yeah, it's a nightmare. It's my idea of a nightmare. Asking somebody to be in a room by themselves and then to be happy about it and to overcome death at the same time. While all this other stuff's going, while going through financial difficulties, or rather insecurity, instability, family fighting, and all of that, money problems, or just not being able to manifest, people doing witchcraft on you, influencing you, your mind. And I have to bring up witchcraft because now we've got Five of Pentacles, Five of the Pope, and we've got death. So somebody in this group 7 had hexes put on them. They had something to do with your mind, to trap your mind. They were trying to trap minds. And so I'm being told here that your reaction now is you don't care. You have downloaded yourself out of the game, and that is perfect. We like that. So I'm going to leave that there. And let's just confirm about your boundaries. Like, should you? Because some of you are like, should I though? Yes. Okay, so basically everyone is on their own. I'm being told that you need to treat your life, your schedule, your day as a kingdom. And literally everyone in your life is on their own, because you are now the king. You are a psychopomp. You are leading people through with your scepter. You are making your will manifest. And that's what's so beautiful, because I was asking about your boundaries, right? Like if somebody comes with an emergency or catastrophe, should you do something about it? Well, with this card, I'm getting that you should rule these boundaries as if it is your kingdom, because these boundaries are what will keep you safe from all these other influences. So you're being called to use this energy of the Four of Wands that's been in your life, that's always been making you feel trapped. You're being called, and that you're always just like planning mode. You're being called to plan like a king. That's the flavor they want you to put a spin on it now. So after this reading, when you go out into the world, and whenever you feel trapped, you're going to be like, oh, I feel trapped. This is my cue to start planning. And I'm going to plan or pray like a king. Planning is praying. Come on. Because you have to expect it to happen just like a plan. You don't draw house plans and then wish they come true. You draw house plans and you build them. You pray and you believe and you receive. Get in the receptive mode. And then here as well, whenever you feel like you are lonely and you need to find somebody, or you're horny or whatever, just think of the magician and think of the victory that you have over your base instincts, and you'll be able to transmute that energy. And then you're working with these teachers and you're becoming them while getting these fruits. Because these appear behind the teacher, which means these are the fruits the teachers are bringing you. This one, being alone, that gives you a yes. This card is yes to whatever you want, because you are like God. You are alone in the realm of expansion. Okay, or in the throne room even. Well, it's the two of you. Okay, so that's very good for you. Act like a king, move like a king, and then you won't feel trapped. How do you move like a king? Well, you are a king priest forever. So you are a priest, and you are a king, and you are a priest, and you've overcome death. And let's see stuff that maybe look out for. This is where they want you, or this is where your stillness wants you to get away from. Thinking about heartbreak and the past. They want you to get away from this. So if we look at the as wands, as movement, then we can say move towards prayer, move away from other people's problems, move like a king, move away from sadness and regret. That's what it means to move like a king. It means to grow. It means to find your shape. It means to be creative. Because when you're making a movie, they always say that the final movie is what's actually on screen. You're always editing it. And that's what this is. This is someone who's always editing their reality based on the past and they like love lives. You see, it's flash. That's literally what it's like. It's like flashing, zooming in, zooming out, flashing, zooming in, zooming out. That's like you editing your past the whole time. And if you keep editing your past, then it's like your movie's not developing, because it's like you're in turnaround and or development hell or whatever. And so you don't really get to experience any of these things, because a king who's always, trying to fix the past cannot grow, cannot be creative, and you definitely can't express yourself to the fullest if you are busy thinking oh, I need people to not know this about me, because there's a fear of intimacy here. This king that you're being called to become is very scared of being vulnerable. So what I'm going to do is we're going to turn this in reverse, because I think you should keep your swords. Your swords are your life experience, but I'm going to put them behind you because they're behind you now. And now you have the wisdom here at your feet. You stand on your wisdom. When you're alone, you see how far you've come. You take the lesson and leave the rest when it comes to your heartbreaks, because I'm seeing you did have a lot of heartbreaks and meet a lot of genuine people. But now you're being called to just be still with that and look at it in terms of how it helped you to be the king that you are. So I like that one. That's your second teacher. That's beautiful. So that was Four of Wands. And that's beautiful. Two of Cups. Where are you? There you are. So we've been with Satkiel and Raziel. Now let's go to the High Priestess. Oh no, we're going to go to 3. That's the one we pulled first. Okay, let's see what you want. No, it's a good teacher. It's a good teacher. Camael is a good teacher. So now this is going back to the download. So I know we started there. It was pretty intense. But now let's actually get, what's the lesson now? So now this is the big one, as they would say. What is, or what was the lesson? What did you download out of that suffering? Because this is what people always say, oh, law of attraction, so God wants you to suffer. Well, what I'm being told is that the reason you went through this harshness is because you had to see something as it really was. It was some kind of illusion. What was the illusion? Let's pick a card. What was the... Let's go right at the bottom. This was the illusion. You thought you weren't gonna get what you wanted. Wow, subconscious patterns. One side of your family really messed up your mind. You were just given subconscious patterns that told you that life was unfulfilling, life was bad, life was ultimately pain, and there's that Satanism again. Satan got into your mind. See how they work together. You see how they do it. And now, because of this, if you had gone the wrong way, you would have now become a Satanist and you would kill people's dreams. This is what Satan wanted you to become. Samael wanted you to kill people's dreams, literally turn their worlds upside down, use love to trick people into giving away their peace, their divinity. You were going to trap people for real, because you aren't really trapped over here. It's empty. You can leave anytime. Here you're trapping life in double lines, in emotion. So this is a ritualistic trap. So I'm also seeing that there was some people in your bloodline who did magic or hexes on others or on you. A group. And that has led you being, you were in a loop of people just hexing you. You would just leave one place that would hex you. You go somewhere else, they hex you, you go somewhere else, and you overcame all of them. But yes, you were definitely being chased by the devil. No wonder it came out like that the last time, the last reading, the way it did. And the purpose was to kill your dreams. They didn't want you to achieve your dreams. And it's all connected, because these family members who confused you, they are also the ones who open the portal for the myriad of other demons you've had to face. And that's why God said you can have Camael as your teacher, because with them comes the spirit of discernment. Because now you know what evil wants. It'll be easy for you to recognize when even one of these cups gets spilled, because it's so baked into your subconscious mind. In fact, it backfired. They thought they were tumbling your dreams, but they were giving you a victory. And this is why, see, we've got our 6. This is why you need to be grateful, because you know what you're doing. You're a really strong person for going through that. And just that alone is enough to have that be your lesson. But now you've seen it exactly as it is. Those people did not want the best for you. They wanted to ruin your dreams and spill your cups all over the place. But now all that water's pooling into you in the middle, and it's raising your star, and it's diminished the fire of the demons. That fire is now turned to steam, and that steam is powering you like an engine to go forward and achieve the things you want to achieve. They also want to say that there's something you missed once. Like, you need to see something again. Let me see. You missed love. There's someone in your past that while you were going through all of this, you fell in love, or they fell in love with you, and because of your family, again, you did not pursue it. You need to go back. This is true love. This is the love of loves. This is the most love you'll ever find. I'm hearing that this is the real, that's how this deal was made. That's what you were going to lose. That was the trade. But now I'm being told, because this is what, So you were supposed to have a normal life, right? You're a priest, you reincarnated into this world, God gave you your soulmate, everything was going to be fine. But then Satan comes along and says, hey, I want to test your good little priest because I don't think he can cut it. And then God says, well, of course he can cut it. He's amazing. He's my favorite. And then the devil says, fine, we'll see about that. So then the devil comes and sends you and makes you be born into a family that confuses you and has conflict. Then some of these people put a spell on you, and then you don't believe in dreams and you don't think anything's going to work out for you. Then you meet your soulmate, but because you're so stressed about all these things, you miss out on your soulmate, and then you don't meet and you don't come together and create whatever you're supposed to create, the divine baby. You don't get your crown. And then the devil wins, and then the world is set back 50 million times, and then someone who's unqualified will get the job because of their blood sacrifice. That's how they do. That's what they wanted to do. But now that you won, you beat the devil, you beat death, now you can go back and find this. This is what Camael wants you to find. That's what they said in the last reading as well. Focus on love. So you need to find your soulmate, and it's someone you already know. They're saying it's someone you missed the first time around because these cups were spilled. But now you are getting the beginning of love, the original love. So go in your mind right now and think to yourself, when was the only time you felt like you were with someone you could be with forever? Because that person holds the essence of your true soulmate. And if you focus on that essence and use your will in your time alone, moving like a king and praying, being grateful, you will meet that person in the name of Metatron. Because when you get the devil come after you, you're definitely going to have Metatron coming to save you, especially if you're one of us. So Metatron, when Metatron gives you something, it's a done thing because he controls the square. So you've got a soulmate. You need to find them using this codex and key that we are opening now, these doors. So that's really, you got something to look forward to there. But it's like, that's what you could have missed out on if you didn't focus. So why did you miss it? There's a secret about you. There's something about yourself you're still not looking at, or you didn't look at, but maybe now I feel you coming to terms with it. Let's see. It's something about yourself, but it's hidden. Let's see. Because I just think you need a click. You need something to click. Because I still feel like, and I think you're ready to know this, so make it something good, like something deep. You need to know this. Many things come and go. Okay. You need to know that it's over. You need to know that even pain has a purpose. And I understand you went through such a horrible, horrible situation. I don't even want to begin to bring it up because you survived it. But now you have to know that. That's what Satan wants you to know. No, that's what Camael wants you to know. Camael wants you to know that by beating that confusion inside of you, everything else was worth it. And the very fact that you didn't succumb is worth 1,000 days of happiness. In other words, they would rather you walk right to the brink and say no than even consider saying yes ever. Because once it's over, it's over. Remember in Charmed when they froze Leo until Piper could save the world? That's you. Your Leo is frozen. There's no budget to pay Brian Krause. No budget, so we had to freeze Leo. And unfortunately, our dreams were in danger of not coming true. But now that everything's said and done, we can unfreeze our soulmate and we can accept the fact that we had to freeze him so that we could save the company, so that we could save Charmed. In other words, you have to break a few eggs to make an omelette, and in this case, you were the eggs, some of the eggs. But the fact that you got broken in such a divinely beautiful way, for a purpose, I mean, because some people get broken for no reason. Do you know how difficult it must be to be a human who gets broken and broken and broken and broken for no purpose? Whereas you were broken for a purpose because whoever allowed you to be broken knew you could be fixed better than before, which then means you were never broken. And that's the real message. Move on from feeling like you were broken. Embrace your freedom. You are strong enough to move on. And I feel like you need to walk away from an influence that's stopping you or making it difficult to do that. So let's see what that could be. Yeah. Fear of endings. You're afraid that if you do move on, the other shoe's going to drop, and then you'll be caught unaware again. It's all, look at how these cards are just concentrated around the energy they represent. And I'm leaving these as they are because these are your battle scars. This is your biggest victory that you've ever had. And you see yourself as these people falling out the tower, but I see you as the lightning bolt coming to the towers on earth, the dark towers. This is a dark tower. So it's not your tower moment. This is the non-priests. These are the people who have not done the work. When they see you falling in love, their whole sense of reality will shatter in the same way they try to trap you in their reality. And that's why it's never good to come up against a priest, especially a king priest after the order of Melchizedek. Because when you are Melchizedek, whoever tries to do anything to you, when you pull your energy back, when all this water flows into here, pulls in through these good influences, and you get your strength again, and you find your soulmate, you will destroy the ungodly tower on this planet. And that was the real reason God agreed for you to be tempted, to be in this situation. So now when you look at him, he's got better things to do, I think, than stand around looking, performing with this oversized sword like he's playing with daddy's things. He's got much bigger things to do. He needs to find his soulmate. The moment you reconnect with your soulmate, automatically you'll destroy the dark towers. It's energetic. There's nothing they can do about it. The more you fall in love, the more you destroy them. So go into the description box and go listen to the musical playlist that I created, full of love songs, only love songs. Or go to the website on Webnode and play the love game. Whatever you do, it must be love. And there's no excuse because I made the games, so go play. You definitely need to work on that. So let's go to our dear, dear High Priestess, the last teacher. Let's see what you have for us through the 4 paths that we are now taking. What doors shall we open with our keys? Now that the angel of destiny has returned our lover, what door shall we open? So the high priestess is telling me she's very happy with us. Right now, she says we have been very, very dedicated and very, very studious students of the art, and she wants to open some doors for us. She's saying, I'm not shifting your timeline. I'm solidifying the crystalline structures of the places that hold ideas in your mind about this timeline. And as those structures form, so shall your reality form in their image. And if you take the next leap in this direction, you'll see what I mean. So what do we want to leap into? We need to leap into our nightmares. There's that 9 again. We need to leap into our fears. We need to open the door of our fears. I like what I'm seeing here. We've got victory coming from your Raziel. We've got moving on, 6 of Swords, letting go, finding balance out of pain and beauty out of pain. And then we have 3 of these on top of each other. And for me, this is saying going into your nightmares means that your fantasies have become a reality. Going into your nightmares means that you have so much money, you don't know what to do with it. Going into your nightmares as this group 7 individual, it means developing a healthy and positive relationship with money. Because the High Priestess is telling me, what's your biggest nightmare as a priest? It's being a billionaire. Because that's victory, victory, victory. And so she's now giving us the keys to explore the nightmares of having a lawyer and a manager, an agent, and a chef. If you can feel in your heart chakra right now, some of you are having heart palpitations. You're actually having a fear response to being incredibly wealthy and healthy. That's wild. It's because you feel like it's unpredictable. You feel like changing your life, changing into this new reality is too unpredictable and you don't like it because it disturbs your already ingrained patterns. And even if these patterns are scary or boring, you don't care, they're still patterns. But now, the idea of having to find your soulmate and all of that, that's that's not giving you nightmares. It is a nightmare of yours because it's your fantasy turning real. And then it's like, what if you lose that? But with the High Priestess is saying you've already lost it. So you can't lose it again. So go get it. You can't lose what's yours. even if it's already lost, so go get it. Yeah, I'm getting a very, very good and kind of a naughty, scary feeling from this. A sense of creeping around at night, having secret relationships, um, maybe even having a secret affair. I mean, I see a secret, not an affair with married people, mind you, that's adultery. I'm talking about like two people who maybe didn't think they would ever be together, being together under the cover of darkness. And it's a nightmare because, oh my, like if I got with freaking who's who's the Earth person? Zendaya. That would be a nightmare because she's too pretty, she's famous. That's the feeling that I'm getting here. And it feels like this is a rich people's problem. So when you start to feel nervous, feel happy because that's when it's actually starting. That's when you're gonna get, that's a sign that when you see the sign, it's a part of the design. There's a difference between signs and omens. Omens portend bad things to come, whereas signs are alignment to your desire. So when you see the sign, when you wake up at night, with heart palpitations, because you just had a dream of somebody you know and didn't think you would fall in love with, now you know. You heard it here first. And I believe you will react quite well to all of this. I haven't gotten any from here. Group 7, you're quite messy, aren't you? We are. Oh, of course. See, I knew it. The Wraith of Cups. So when you embrace this feeling, as you shall, you will be galloping, or someone will be galloping towards you with of love. And it's beautiful that they're coming with their own sword, so they have their own experience, and hopefully they know how to use it, if you know what I'm saying. And in this, court card, it's not giving me the same kind of silliness as, or let's say, boyishness I was getting from the other one. This one seems more sincere, seems more, romantic. I mean, it's a cups. I'm going to be biased. This is someone who's just more into you. Look at the stance, just leaning on that shield. This is someone who is calm, not going to take themselves too seriously. They are aligned with the forces of nature. They think very, very highly of you. They don't want to hurt you. They know how to treat you. I mean, they have stability. It's what you would expect from a spirit. Someone being scared of getting what they want because, they're used to being in that hellish realm, which is no longer. So yeah, just embrace that fear that you have right now and that doubt, and rise above it because it's a sign that you're doing it well. So if it wasn't there, then it would be a sign that you were doing it wrong. And then you will not only attract love, you will become. When you pray, you almost become like an emissary of that sign. So the high priestess is really saying this is about transmuting energy, taking pain and using it. So it's like Excalibur. There's a sword in the rock, the Lady of the Lake, and then you have to take the sword out of the rock, the pain of reality. And you end up looking good, and there are signs of this coming. What can my Querant, my group 7, look to that they already have coming now? Something they know. I don't want that one. I want that one. No. No. I don't know. What do they already know? There. Good boys and girls. You know it was reversed. You know how to handle conflict. So that was the point of this. Oh, you know how to beat the devil. You know how to tell the devil is a liar. You know how to control your mind against the devil. That was the whole purpose of this thing. And you've even gotten to the point where now you can see the devil coming miles away. You are, like, I'm so happy for you. I actually have a song called Night Game on Spotify. It's track number 5. And I say, I'm so happy for you because I know sometimes it feels like you're living in a nightmare. Got demons running circles around you everywhere. Got psychos setting traps they tell you wasn't there. And for what? Just a little bit of profit share. While you open up your eyes within and you fought against the horrible people who are trying to edit your reality. It's literally like they were trying to make you think you were something you were not. It's like they were trying to put you into their movie or upload you into their virtual reality, and you were like, no, this is not for me. And that's why they sent you here. Because you were the only ones who could say no. Like Jesus in the desert, he said no to Satan. And so it makes sense that the only person who would say no again is a priest king according to the order of Melchizedek, group 7. The 5 of Swords in reverse is no small feat because it's witchcraft. I kept saying, if I see any more 5s, I'm going to know it's witches. Someone did witchcraft on you, and it's almost like all the spells they did to you, because you were in this trap praying, all the spells bounced off of you, and now look, they're going to them, and look, God is shitting on them. And they have to look at you turn into this amazing being, while looking at the nightmares they try to give you or scare you with actually being signs of your development. And I think you're going to get some mental clarity, or let's say, I'll go ahead and say you'll get some closure on this. The High Priestess is going to give you closure on this to actually show you how you beat the devil. And I'm being shown that you were not the first victim, whatever it was. But you definitely got away. You were one of the only ones, or the only one to get away. And it's literally only because you were a priest in a past life. If it wasn't for that, we wouldn't be having this conversation. And that's what they want you to see, that what you do matters, even if no one is looking, to the point of saving your life. And they're saying the last card, well, I'm going to draw 2 more cards, but this card they're going to say is proof of how you've beat the devil. So they're like, and now this is the door we've opened. So walk through here. Like, here's your treat. Ah, it's a present. We're getting another present. The high priestess is giving us a present. Make it good. Make it this. Oh, the sun, le soleil. Guys, I love doing readings for you. Why? Because you're awesome. And look, we have 19. 19, that transition number. It's also completion, but it's not completion that is recognized. It's not completion that is always recognized externally. It's a recognition of, innocence and purity and love. It's that's what God wanted for you in this whole thing. This is like the point of why we were here. The will of God is for us to be happy in this place and free from feeling like we are less than, feeling like we need money to do something, or you don't. And that's the truth of the high priestess. It's the will of God. It's the essence of human souls to just want to be normal. And when you look at the first card and this, it's completely different. Because this is where we originate from. This is where our deep fulfillment lies, returning back to where we originated. It's the only way we will feel complete and like we have actually attained all the things that we wanted. And so for me, this is like it's the realization that at the end of all the things that you've been through, you still have your innocence. You might not still have access to the falsities and illusions you had access to, which gave you a good escape from the boredom. But at least you are living in reality and not in a video game. That's the real thing. And as you continue to act like a king and not forget all the things you've been through over here, you'll realize that you still have your innocence, and that a loss of innocence never really happens to people like you, like us. Just like we don't ever die or get born. And so you are literally being kissed and given the full green light to be with your person under the sun, supported by all the celestial bodies, a ring of protection around you, and no judgment. That's the door that's already open for you. That's how we see you right now. We see you as the sun, and we want you to radiate out all of this out into the world. Embody this. When you leave here and act like the person we see you to be, in that instant you do it, you will have everything you've ever wanted. And that is instant manifestation. We came and we delivered. So now we're going to draw one last card, because we saw you at the beginning of the journey. You were this guy. And then we saw how you got to be him. But now I'm going to call action. And we're going to see who you are going to be. Are you ready? Okay. Lights, camera, action. This is you. Thank God. I did my job. This is the strongest combination you can ever have in this kind of reading. So with our last card, I wanted to see the difference between your first character and this character now that you've absorbed all of this energy. And what I'm getting with the 10 of Wands is, first of all, it's in reverse, yes, but it corresponds to this, which tells me that this is a true vibrational, congruent reflection. 0 plus 1, well, 10, 1 plus 9, 10, and then 0 plus 1, 1, 0 plus 1, 1, 11, 11, 1, 1. The two pillars, the internal world and the external world, mirroring each other in different ways. Now, the thing I love about this combination is because we are dealing with 10 of Wands, which has to do with this physical realm. It has to do with how we think about ourselves in this physical realm. It has to do with how we think God thinks about us in this physical realm. And the 10 of Wands, when it's upright, like this, it usually shows you somebody who's keys down. Somebody who thinks that they have nothing left to unlock. Somebody who thinks they already know everything there is to know. And somebody who thinks that God knows everything there is to know about them and about reality. It looks exactly like the 5 of Wands doubled. Now we know that the 5 of Wands is terrible. One of the worst situations you could be in. Because none of these pentagrams are connected. And if you know anything about magic, when your pentagrams aren't connected, then you are living in a fake reality. You are bewitched. You are insane. You have mental issues. So when you have double upright pentagrams, that means someone is living in an illusion. And they are too blind to see that they are living in illusion. When I see a 10 of Wands upright on someone, they've been bound. It's worse, well, it could be worse than the devil. but it's part and parcel of that family because it shows a lack of will and no access to God. These are the people who literally act crazy because they've literally been hexed with like kufa dust or something. Because there's evil eye, like five of wands, but this is like real hardcore-ish. And the keys are down. If you go to my music playlist, I sing about keys all the time. And I talk about, I didn't know I had the key inside of me in my song Let It Go, which is about letting go. Ta-da! But this is not knowing you have the key. It's being oriented, right? But you cannot use a key that's turned down. And I mean, a pentagram with open ends is bad. There's no direction here. Everything is at no, it's just terrible. So it means artifice. That's the word I use for this way. But the fact that it came out like this, that's how much I trust and love your group. Because after all this that we've done, your energy still remains consistent and it's telling one coherent, beautiful story about you. It's telling me a story that since that time, you shifted dimensions in November 2008. You've been on this huge journey to reclaim who you are, and now you have let go of all your illusions. You've turned the devil upside down. You've gotten victory over evil. You are the dream that the high priestess, let's cover that. You are the dream that the high priestess had when this program was started to send us back the holy lights, the seven spirits of God, to send us back to comfort, counsel, and help the humans. But one thing you forgot was to help yourself first. You forgot to take the splinter out of your eye first and then help your brother, but then you did it. Because I'm also being shown that after 2008, something happened to you. 2016, I'm seeing more satanic. 2018, more satanic. And now, it's like you've just ended a gauntlet of pain, and now you passed the test because you found the beauty of the pain, and because of that, they're releasing all of your gifts. Because when we looked at it the other way, it was a useless shape. But when you look at it like this, it turns into something else. It turns into the quality, almost, of the Eight of Wands. Because it feels like these wands are tumbling out of the sky. It feels like they're falling down. The rhythm of their movement is more natural this way. It's like they are rupturing through this white void, this white space, and coming down to plant pegs in the ground of stability. And we have our keys up. And there's so much congruency that they're all pointing down. And now that all the tips, 1, 2, 3, are fully down, the key is active and available. the keys up. To me, this is all about taking fire and turning it into creative power, into water. And the key to doing that is letting go of illusions. Because as soon as you let go of those illusions, that's when the devil didn't have a hold on you. And that's why you were able to achieve all of these things that you have achieved. This is Archangel Sandalphon, and he works on earth. And he is telling you now that you have everything that you need to create the life of your desires in your head. You don't need to learn anything else. You don't need to do one more course. You don't need to do one more meditation or one more anything. You are done. All they want you to do now is relax, have fun, and drink out of the cups that you made with all of the witchcraft that was thrown at you. Because, I mean, come on. Beautiful ending. Like the internal sun is radiating out through you through the loss of your illusions. That was the whole point of this. You did this to break your illusions. And now no one can ever lie to you ever again. That's your gift. That's the point of Night Game. To break your illusions so you can be free. As always, we thank you for playing this game with us. Because without you and your belief in love, we would not exist. Please go to the description box and follow the links to learn more about Night Game. Group 7. It has been an honor and a pleasure reading for you. I'm honored and pleasured that I was assigned to your group. But more than anything, this has just felt like me getting back to my old friends. Just imagine us sitting around a bonfire and laughing and talking about all the different lifetimes we've had, all of these weird tests, and how it seems like humans never learn. But slowly they are learning, and that's the point. Because we wouldn't be able to be here right now if they weren't learning. We are the traveling libraries that we kept back in those days, and it's our responsibility as scribes and trustees of this knowledge to keep it and share it in the ways that uplift our brothers and sisters. This is not for the regular humans, it's for our brothers and sisters only. So please share this message with your brothers and sisters and give them hope and a reason to hope by telling them that the spiritual warfare is over, your body is the church, and you have 4 teachers with you right now, helping you, coming through with energies that mold your reality into being what you want it to be, without fear of death or persecution, because you've already overcome it. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Selah.